I'm trying to figure out what to do. I feel a little lost. I'm wondering about like going back to the United States. Hey there everybody, I'm Ava. If you're new here, I live in my car. Today I am heading out on a road trip. I have some family on the East Coast and I will actually be driving through a foreign country, Canada. It's a lot like here, but it's still a foreign country nonetheless. I will not have cell phone service and I'm actually going to go all the way to Montreal in Quebec, and I am excited for that. I'm really excited that I live in my car. It's easier to make a road trip. I don't have to pay for a hotel or anything, and I'm just taking the opportunity to see a different place. And I do think Quebec and Montreal actually does have a little bit of a different culture, and yeah, I'm excited to take you with me, so let's get going. Well, I'm actually getting kind of close to the border. I'm about 25 miles away, and I'm actually feeling excited to go off the grid, not worry about texts, emails, notifications. I will be unreachable. Just waiting at customs. Hopefully people will move through fast. A little bit nervous. You never know if you're gonna get like a mean person or not, but hopefully I picked a good lane. The person ahead is taking a while, so that makes me a little bit nervous. I wish I'd done that lane. I got through and I kept driving until I got to about Toronto, and by then it was late enough that I decided to pull over for the night. It's about 11 p.m. I'm like, I don't know, 40 minutes outside of Toronto, I think. So yeah, I'm tired. I want to unwind, so I'm just walking into this Hilton to see if I can get a Wi-Fi password. There was not public Wi-Fi. Although I was a little bit nervous not to have any data or Wi-Fi, it ended up being no problem at all. And as usual, I sleep better without distractions, and here, without even any data, there was really nothing I could do other than sleep, so I slept amazing. All right, good night. I'm feeling tired out from the drive, and I want to stay inconspicuous, so I'm just gonna go to bed, and yeah, I'll see you in the morning. Good night. The next day, I just made myself at home at a Panera and worked through the day, and after that, I wasn't, again, in a rush to continue on my trip, so I found a fancy Lifetime fitness club, which they do have in the United States as well, and I've been to. They're good about giving you a trial day pass to test out the club, which is what I got in this case. After I finished that, I continued on my road trip for several more hours until it was around midnight again. These trucks, there was a speed limit, but they're just like cruising by in the left lane. And so I pulled off. My destination, I was considering it to be Montreal because I did want to spend a few days in a French-speaking country. I took French in school, and I also even actually spent a semester abroad in France when I was in high school. I can fully appreciate now how unique it is to have a French-speaking country so close to home. Trucks are also always blocking like the signs that say what's at the exit whenever they're there. I stopped about an hour and a half short of Montreal in a small town called Cornwall. So to work that day, I found a library. I was noticing a little bit more of the French culture coming in, and so that was fun to see already. And it was really fun just to experience a more authentic, non-touristy town. After I finished work for the day, I did head to Montreal. All right, I just entered Quebec. I'm pretty excited. It's really cool that it's this little pocket of French. I looked for a Crunch Fitness, which is where I go in the town that I live in, hoping that I could use my membership to get into the Montreal club. I was able to get into the Crunch. They were super nice about it. After that, I made my way downtown. I'm really loving this city. I have had a few conversations in French. The guy at the gym was nice and talked to me, and somebody actually helped me park my car too, which was really helpful because I'm terrible at parallel parking, although I'm realizing there's more spots available than I realized. And I'm gonna check out a fancy restaurant. It was a little bit awkward to be there alone. The bartender guy tried to speak with me a little bit, but by the time I sat down, I was just sort of wanting to move things along and leave. I think a better solution would be to go to like a hotel bar or something where there's other people by themselves. But the food was good. It was a really cool restaurant. It made me feel like Montreal was a happening place that would be fun to visit again. Honestly, I even wondered, living in my car, if this is something I should do for an extended time. I looked it up and I saw that you can actually stay in Canada as a visitor for up to 6 months. So I was like, I don't live anywhere. I don't have to fly anywhere. I'd still be even in the same time zone as my job. So it would actually be very realistic for me to go for several months in Quebec, and I think that could honestly be really fun. And it's just another thing where living in my car, it's like, wow, I really have a lot of options and things I could do. If I had an apartment, it would be a completely different story, and it would be a different story if I had to pay tons of money to get a rental in Montreal, which by the looks of it, it looked like it would be extremely expensive. After going to the restaurant, it seemed a little bit too crowded downtown, so I didn't feel comfortable parking just right on the streets downtown. I am having a little trouble finding a parking spot at the moment. I put in like Courtyard Marriott because I was thinking it would come to like a suburb place with like a normal parking lot and stuff, but it just led me to some other like fancy-ish part of town, I think across the river or something. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. I feel a little lost. I'm wondering about like going back to the United States. I don't have Wi-Fi or data, so it's hard. I'm gonna try to find it, I guess, but it's hard for me to like look up locations to go to. I'm starting to feel a little bit homesick. I was feeling discouraged, but as I was driving towards the border, I did find myself going through a more residential neighborhood, and it looks like there's some cars parked along the street. I'm hoping it won't be super busy in the morning, but I'm just gonna go ahead and park here because I'm tired right now. Good night. You can't see me at all. I'm a little bit too scared to turn the lights on because I'm just parked on this random street in Quebec. So good night. Good morning, I'm up. I'm really glad nobody bothered me. I was kind of nervous being on this random residential street in a foreign country, but I think I'm good, so I'm gonna get going. I just finished my morning routine. I feel proud of myself. It wasn't like some huge feat, but I did just go to this random residential neighborhood in Quebec and slept there for the night. No one bothered me. It's really quiet. It's quieter than some of the streets at home. So yeah, I feel good about that. I'm glad I stayed. I had to work that day again, so I found another local library and went to a small town. I'll forget the name of it, I'll look it up, and that was really great. It was super French. There were no tourists around. The library was really nice, and I had a great time. I felt more relaxed, I felt less stressed. I went to a bookstore and got some books in French for my niece, and then I headed out. Well, this is it. I'm getting close to the end. I'm almost back in the United States. Alright, well that was a sweet trip. I am back in the United States now. I'm kind of excited to have data again, but it was nice to have that little break and a little bit of extra challenge of having to find my way around. I did get to speak French in Quebec a little bit, and I like that. I think I could use a lot of brushing up, but it was nice to do that a little bit, and I feel like I would like to go back soon. It was super fun. This is not something I would have done if I didn't live in my car. I used to drive between the East Coast and the Midwest to visit family and so forth, and I would always feel like I had to really spend a long day powering through, driving all day. Occasionally that was like the beginnings of living in my car. Was if I did stop overnight, I would sleep in my car, but it was not something I was used to. I didn't have a good setup, and yeah, traveling wasn't something that I was inclined to do because it can be out of the way, and it can be really expensive with a hotel, and hotels also just don't really feel like home anyway. So I loved having everything in the car, not having to get a hotel, not having to check in, be alone, feel like I'm spending all this money on something I don't really like that much. And it was really, really cool to go to Montreal, and I definitely want to go back and maybe even spend more time there, like I said. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.